Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, and this is the Eve Universe Show, and we are tackling the new dawn, Age of Prosperity, the fourth quadrant of 2021, the final quadrant, and the end of scarcity. We got a lot of information today, but at the same time, we didn't get enough information today. We'll talk about that and what that means for the future as we get to it. And we also need to go back and maybe put some things into context from some of these dev blogs. So there was a dev blog that was posted that is about the quadrant altogether. Then there is a second dev blog that was posted that is about the patch notes themselves. Sorry, not there was the second thing is the new patch notes themselves. And then there is, of course, all of the content which we will be looking at. So let's start with this news article, the New Dawn New Quadrant. EVE Online 4th Quadrant of 2021 New Dawn begins today, including significant changes to mining and resources. As EVE moves towards a new age of prosperity, Capsuleers can look forward to brighter days ahead in New Eden. So we have been living through scarcity now for about a little over, what is it, 2 years now? God, why? What even happened? Why is there a fly in my house all of a sudden right now that decides to show up? That's perfect. Speaking of chaos, my co-pilot Possum is sleeping right now, so we'll hope that that holds through. In the meantime, we have the end of scarcity. People have been asking for that. CCP promised it coming at the end of the year, and so that is what this is all about. Changes to mining, compression, and resources. The journey to strengthen the health and foundations of EVE's ecosystem began nearly 2 years ago. Yep. When 3 phases were laid out in the Ecosystem Outlook article: shortages, redistribution, and dynamic distribution. During this time, there have been significant updates to the distribution of resources in the universe and equally significant changes to how ships are manufactured. Come December, New Eden will move into the next phase of this original plan, as discussed back in 2020. So let's jump real quick into this dev blog, the original one, the EVE Online Ecosystem Outlook. I'm not going to read this one, obviously. This is the one that was from 2020. Actually, basically almost exactly a year ago. Abundance breeds complacency and scarcity breeds war. This, of course, got memed pretty heavily. But let's look at this in the meantime, or from like after a year, right? So they want to continually regulate the unique ecosystem of EVE Online in order to provide a fair and vibrant playground full of diverse and rewarding opportunities for all players. EVE Online players are deeply engaged in a universe full of non-repetitive activities with intuitive risk-reward ratios while not competing with cheaters. With goals of increased veteran engagement through nurturing conflict, improving economic health and opportunities through updates to resources and risk distribution, severely impact cheating through prevention, detection, and enforcement. So those are the goals for scarcity. Or at least the changes that they're... Sorry, this is the goals for the entire ecosystem rebalance that they've been going through. Okay, so they targeted cheating, anti-abuse mechanics, including botting, 0.01 isking, and account hacking and safety, and real money trading. Those are the things that they noted. Now, people didn't notice this when this dev blog first came out, but it's a pretty good, or maybe this one came after the market changes. I actually think this came after the market changes, more to explain it, but I could be wrong. Either way, you can see that this is like, this goes straight into abusing mechanics, because it made it so that it was more about who can update the most more than who had the better position. Equality of opportunity. The balance between risk, effort, and reward in EVE Online is healthy. Wealth, power distribution, and inequality between individuals and groups. The rich get richer. There's a healthy turnover of wealth, power, and sovereign space territory in the game. They have a problem with the super capital umbrella. And there are good opportunities for new players to become successful in the game. So these are all things that they're trying to make more true, as it were, right? At the time, they gave themselves a C. They'd so far moved it from haven't moved the tables much besides cheating, because they had done a lot of work on targeting cheaters and other bad actors during scarcity and before. But they note that they haven't actually, up until this point, really improved the balance and progression of the economy and industry side of things. Remember, this is from a year ago. Then they say that they're going to go after they have hard counters and weaknesses, escalation paths, a bunch of details. We're going to get to, hold on. I guess this is already, scarcity has already been kind of a term or whatever, but then they describe resource redistribution. So this is what we're getting at towards now, right? So, here we go. Shortage phase. The main goal of the shortage phase is to get the economy to the left side of the healthy state of the income line. So if this is where we're at, or if this is where we were at a year ago, their goal was not to bring us to here and then turn on the faucets. Their goal was to bring us to here and turn on the faucets. This is one of the reasons why it was so painful, right? Because it's like they needed to actually push it past to the unhealthy state, as it were, in the opposite direction, just a little bit, for two reasons. One, it gives them room to really incentivize the new stuff that they add back in and make that feel really valuable to bring it back into healthy state. But also, honestly, to know where those boundaries are. You know, this graph, there's no numbers on this graph. This is concept, right? Like, design doesn't come into reality until you actually start doing it. They had to see what it looks like in order to get it to, to a point where it's like, okay, well, now it's time to get to the next thing. So here we are. Even though it is a moving target, see, there is confidence that the data and tools to evaluate the situation are in hand. Then, this is what we're entering into. In this phase, the location of healthy range limits will be declared, and then the necessary changes to place the income within the ranges will be made. As it is not a static state, there will be many moving parts and attributes to establish this range and relative contribution. And then the dynamic redistribution stage. So, where they put in all these different things. So, what they're kind of dancing around here, but to say it more clearly, when they put things back, they're going to put it back in a way that is far more dynamic. A good example is less asteroid belts, more asteroid anomalies, because asteroid anomalies are something that you can modify through spawn rates, spawn types, etc., whereas asteroid belts are far more static in nature. So you can make a dynamic system as long as you use anomalies, and you can play with the levers, whatever. And so building the different variables, just like the introduction of all these new parts in the industry changes, this gives them, not only does it adds more complexity to the system, which gives more niches for people to perform, but also gives CCP more levers to make, okay, well, now we can make capitals harder to build without necessarily making cruisers harder to build, for example. Okay, so let's hop back to today. New Dawn will bring increased resources throughout the universe, extensive updates to mining, a comprehensive rebalancing of Eve's mining ships, an equally significant update to resource compression. So we already know some of these details. We don't really know that much about the mining ship rebalance, except for we've known it's been coming for quite a few months. But we do know that this resource compression is that they want us to be able to, or they've said that we're going to be able to compress moon goo, or like the ore mined from moon rocks, as well as gas, which are pretty big. The way that they say this is kind of interesting. One of the things that people have theorized is that maybe they'll give compression to the Orca, for example, but it's hard to tell, and we'll have to see where this is going. You'll be able to read up on all these exciting updates, as well as a peek at what the road to prosperity looks like in a detailed dev blog coming this Friday. So here we go. So this Friday, we will get way more information. I probably will not be able to go live to do this, but I'll try to do some sort of breakdown, or be on shows in order to break it down, or whatever. But there's going to be a lot of good information coming out this Friday about the new stuff. So new mining changes, potentially new resource opportunities, and I'm going to guess, because something they don't mention here, as I don't think, but has been talked about before, is the second phase of the industry changes, which is supposed to be significantly kinder than the first phase of the industry changes, or at least make the first phase make more sense. So then they go into the content from that's out today, right? So now there's going to be 3 new exploration sites. Alongside these exciting changes to the EVE economy, you'll also be able to experience 4 new challenging exploration sites, all live today. I don't know if all 4 of them are live today, but whatever. We'll see. These are designed to reward the boldest Capsuleers with capital and super capital construction components. This is kind of controversial, and it'll be interesting to see how this works. This makes it so that I don't know if these are going to be new parts that are now required that weren't required before, or if this is just a new way of getting parts that previously would only be received through manufacturing, right? In order for them to maybe alleviate one of those bottlenecks. The Aegis Capital Ship Security Facility is scattered throughout LowSec and features a heavily guarded security vault ripe for ransacking. Covert ops pilots will find much to plunder here. So this is just a new hacking site, probably with a lot more. So this is actually what those SCC sites that we were running in order to get the ESS keys that were released this summer. This was that, you can think of that as a test for this, right? So this is a hacking version. This is a hacking version where you should be able to run it in a CovOps. But there's another one, which we'll get to, which is more of a combat site closer to the SEC. But this is probably more like a ghost site, or not a ghost site, but like a sleeper cache, and the fact that it's like there's obstacles to overcome. Disrupt the rogue drones as they tend their nursery in a Triglavian-held space by pillaging them as part of the Overmind nursery grove sites found throughout Pochfin. Scan, salvage, and cloak your ships for this encounter. We are going to go try this out, and this is the one that Erstschlag did in a video, which we will be watching. In the Aegis Secure Transfer Facility found in LowSec and Wormhole Space, Edencom oversees logistics of capital and super capital production. Track down the transport ships ferrying VIPs in order to learn the location of the Edencom construction facility. Strategic cruisers fitted for scanning, combat, and hacking are recommended here. This is interesting. It's in Wormhole Space, super capital production, and so cap parts and super capital parts. Same questions as before. There's a transport that you have to hunt down, and then that gets you the location. So it's like an escalation of the construction facility, and it's designed around strategic cruisers. This sounds like some pretty cool content, honestly. We'll see. The Aegis Secure Capital Construction Fortress. Escalation sites is revealed to players who complete the Aegis Secure Transfer Facility site successfully and is fiercely defended. Bring significant firepower with your Marauders and Dreadnoughts to have any hope of looting this factory. I think this is still in LowSec or in Wormhole Space, by the way, guys. But the difference is that unlike the SEC sites, these are escalations from here, so it'll be really hard for an enemy, and they'll at the very least have to probe you down. So it really looks like, and we'll talk about this when we get to the nursery groves, it looks like they really took into consideration that these sites can be interfered with and what that looks like and both how you can do that and how you can defend yourself against it. Yes, this goes to YouTube. To help you tackle these new sites in style, there will also be a 25% offer on select ship skins recommended for exploration sites. We'll check that out, including skins on popular T3 cruisers. Whatever. So this is going to be cool, depending on, again, what's inside, right? And then, of course, there's this picture, which is from, these are the new landmines, proximity mines. Cool. So FanFest returns, of course. I don't actually know why this is part of this announcement. This is not part of this quadrant. Alliance Tournaments continues. Cool. The Alliance Tournament has been amazing so far. Everybody, I've heard nothing but good feedback about it. It was really good. It continues, I believe, this weekend. Yep. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you can go back and watch the previous matches. I recommend it. But even if not, you can come back and watch the ones this weekend. They should be even better. And then we get some information about the Winter Nexus event, which is coming back. So the volatile ice storms are coming back, which this was actually really cool. So the way this works is that you can get these ice storm filaments pretty easily, and these will just teleport you to one of these volatile ice storms things. So you can be like, oh, I want to do a high sec, I want to go to high sec, or I want to go to null sec, or I want to go to low sec versions of these sites. It was pretty effective at getting people to content, and those areas ended up being pretty interesting, both in the low sec and in the high sec sites. This year, it says that, where does it say it? I thought somewhere it says that the volatile ice storms will move much like other volatile, like what's it called? Oh no, I guess they did move last year too, didn't they? They just stay within their own constraint. And don't think that it's 100% easy peasy get to high sec either, because usually, or at least last year, and I assume this year, one of the volatile ice storms will be in Solitude. So not all yeets to high sec will get you to contiguous high sec. Beware of that. And okay, so, and then the mysterious Yule clones will also make their return. Brought to life with additional animations. This is something we'll talk about when we look at the Hoboleaks stuff. There'll also be bonus daily login rewards. This is something that a lot of those like not cosmetic items, but like special edition items, those lore items that are in the game. This is, you know, Christmas giveaways are where they come from. So hopefully we'll have a whole new set of items to check out and you know, try to figure out which one, what they're all references to. They also confirmed that there's going to be combat sites, hacking sites, mining sites, just like before. Unlock new festive ship skins, rarefaction modules, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Also, we're getting that Year and Eve video again. That's pretty cool. There's some more sales coming. Fine, whatever. Then there's a new Eve universe coming. They're replacing the fiction portal with this new portal called the Eve universe. Hopefully they're going to take this a lot more serious than the previous one. It really seems like that is possible. We'll see. It made it into the news. That's a good step. What are the Yule clones? We'll actually jump into that real quick. Maybe I'll do that in the after show, if you remind me. So the Yule clones, real short. The Yule clones are a reference to the Yule lads, which are Icelandic Christmas tradition. Okay, so I would like to point out that my show is the Eve Universe show, and it's focused a lot on the lore as well. So tell you what, CCP, I won't file for copyright infringement if you don't. How about that? Can we just like work together on this one? I don't want to have to change my logo. I don't want to have to. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is great, man. I hope to see more about this. I really wish that we'd be able to see like at least a picture about it to tease it. I don't think that the feedback. Yeah, this is just the feedback for the entire article, right? Or yep. So I don't see anything per se about the new portal. So that's too bad. All right. So that's the devblog. Let's move on. Jumping to the patch notes. This is about what happened today. We now have the new engine audio, which is pretty cool. This is, it makes the engines more dynamic. There's a more kick. You can hear the afterburners and micro warp drives kick on and off. It's pretty cool. Modified render. This is just making sure things don't like glitch out and look pretty. The 2 new exploration sites with 2 more coming soon. So yeah, not all 4 of them are open live right now. So the 2, I'm assuming that the one with the escalation. So, do we not? Oh yeah. So there's the Aegis capital ship secure facilities, which are in low security space. Hold on. Let's look at what it said about that. Capital security facility. Covert ops. So yeah, so both of the covert ops sites were released today, not the T3 cruiser or its escalation site. You can get electroneural signalers, counter subversion sensor arrays, nanoscale filter plates, nanoregulation gate, metamolecular combiner, and enhanced electroneural signaler. So these are not capital construction parts in the way that you think about capital construction parts. These are the new capital construction parts that are made from like PI and moon goo and all that, and the reactions and all that kind of stuff. This is one of the things to note is that this does not include one of the most expensive pieces out of all of this, which is the capital core temperature regulator. So this is just a good valve and makes sure that the main focus of the price is on the capital core temperature regulator, and that these secondary markets are kind of supplied by local production as needed. But these also, the fact that it comes out of these sites will augment that, the availability of these resources. All right. So here's another big one. People have been complaining about the 15-minute timer for the ESS sites, and I called them whiny whiners, and they win. So the 15-minute timer has been removed and replaced by a standard weapons timer, which means now it's a 60-second timer, the same as if you went siege or you shot at a person. Actually, no, not even a shot at a person, because that'd be a PvP Capsuleer combat timer. That'd be like if you burst, if you used burst armor links, or like, you know, links. Anywho, added support for dragging and dropping ship fittings. I had heard that this is not working. We'll test that. Command links, thank you. Jeez. We'll test this. If this is true, this is the fucking missing link, right? Like, this is the missing link. You can build the entire fitting and then drop that in as one milestone, and then you can put 4 more milestones on it. Like, this makes the skill window go from passable to potentially not just workable, but good. I don't know. That might, we'll see if it works. Increase the quantity of rogue drone infestation data, and this has got to be just like, this is commodities. This is just tweaking things from the dread sites. Okay, they changed the corporation recruitment features. One of the interesting things about this is that now you must flag yourself, basically PvE, PvP, trade and industry, or I thought there was one other, but so like you can't flag yourself as both PvP interests and PvE interests. Now you can have multiple ads, or you can change it between ads, but an individual ad must be targeted to one of these main categories. I think that's pretty cool, actually. It's an interesting way of doing it. We'll see how well that affects anything. Added the ability to sort and filter the content in the redeeming queue. This allows you to sort it by what's about to expire. Yes, thank you. Added more help pointers. Sure, cool. Defect fixes. Fixes. I don't see anything jumping out at me for me to read them all. Looks like there's just a lot of little tiny fixes here and there, which is nice. Make no mistake, this quadrant is basically an expansion level event. We'll see how big it is, but okay, so that's the patch notes. Moving right along. On Hoboleaks, oops. We just want to look real quick. We're going to look at the previous Tranquility build to this Tranquility build. So the build that was done, the patch that was done yesterday or today, the previous change was 6 days ago. So this is everything that got changed today. We only see a lot of the stuff that we saw in a previous episode. We went over all this stuff in the last time that we looked at Hoboleaks. So you can look at it there. We now, of course, know more information about this. Here is the Aegis barge that you have to hunt down in order to find the site. Here's the key. You know, we'll see more about that when we actually start running those sites. These skins are now in the game, although I don't know how or if you can get them. They made all of the hacking cans now a 5-tier difficulty or a 4-tier difficulty in these sites. That's pretty difficult for the record. Some of these are, by the way, like the shield emitter, which is kind of interesting. And then this is a lot of there's a lot of new descriptions. This is all stuff that we've all been over, I believe. All right, so the Overmind nursery nest. Actually, let's jump into. Let's go look at the forums. Or there's one other thing I wanted to go over. There's a Building Better Capsuleers, exciting improvements for new recruits, which came out 2-3 days ago that I missed. So I just wanted to look at that as well. The Gateway Quadrant comes to an end this November, and we're happy to bring you a summary of what's accomplished in the areas of new player experience in EVE Online, as well as some details of what's to come in the future. The RMPE has brought a powerful first adventure to new players with 30% increase in average length of players' first session in EVE Online. Awesome. And a massive uptick in MPE completion rates. Great. Partially because it's really short now. Since its release, the RMPE has seen a number of fixes and some polish, and in November, we will be introducing an animate. Wait. Is this 20? What year is it? Am I having a totally bad shit moment? Okay, no. What year is it? I had a legitimate what year is it moment. New animated aura Vesper Balin for an even more engaging experience. Okay. Either way, work is underway to introduce a mining mission for the first half of 2022, introducing players to fundamental cycles of economy. That's pretty cool. Continue building on the narrative experience with the MPE. So yeah, this just confirms that they're going to continue to build off of this core concept and build out better PvE experiences in order to engage and educate new players. Great. Introduction of skill plans in the November release. Look forward to being able to drag ship fittings into a skill plan. Great. Corporation skill plans are coming to players in December. Great. Along with new skill plan manager role that enables corporations to create, save, and share specialized plans with their members, providing strong foundation and framework. Great. Opportunities and Corp Finder updates. Cool. In November, another testing phase will begin building data for purposes of bringing players individually personalized content recommendations based on their activities. Sweet. New landmark-based opportunities are also on their way. Awesome. Like actual achievements. Great. Giving players opportunities to travel and visit to various interesting locations in New Eden and become better immersed in the world of EVE. Additionally, look forward to various Corporation Finder improvements in November with updates to some filters and functions and more specific corporation ads. Great. We already looked at that. Thus far, the EVE Academy page. So they're going to revamping the EVE Academy page. 90% of respondents reporting that the page has helped them find their path. Their path. EVE Academy is awesome. Since its release, they've introduced new videos, they've introduced the concept of air, etc. So they need to revamp the academy to update it with the new information. And they're working on it. Cool. Let's see. Is there... No, this is the general feedback. Known issues. So in known issues, voiceover audio from animated conversations will overlap, whatever. Changing ship skins while warping will restart the warp sound effect. During certain situations, such as large fleets, audio can get stuck for the users. That sounds very similar to what I experienced during the mass test. NPCs in Abyssal Dead Space that are intended to be partially damaged are currently spawning with fully charged shields. I would not recommend trying out the Abyss right now. Oh my god. Like, that should be like a splash screen when you come out. This can't... what? Hold up. This can't be like just an embedded thing. Like, that's the definition of burying the lead there. Hold on, let me post this a couple places. Then we can jump right back into it. Wow. 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 All right, hold on. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, sorry, this is kind of important. This is important for all Abyss runners. Do not run Abyss until this is fixed. Crazy eye face. All right, moving right along. Missing by orders NPC stations for Aegis databases. Cool. Aegis databases are incorrect. Cool. And so the fact that 2 of the 4 sites are unavailable is a known issue. Cool. All right. Anything else? We also got some feedback from apparently my post on the Crimson Harvest did become the point to talk about. I do want to make a video that kind of goes over my thoughts about the Crimson Harvest. It was pretty good. There was definitely some issues with it. I find it always frustrating to see things like this, that given the fact that like there were very much people with a single praxis that found themselves successful in these event sites. So whatever. Either way, let's see. Is there anything else to look at first? Okay, so now we're going to watch Erstschlag's video about the Overmind Nursery Grove. Then we're going to talk a little bit about what's inside, or we might pause it a few times and look at some of the things that he's looking at in more details. And then we will go attempt to do it ourselves. So here we go. Thanks again to Erstschlag for letting me play this.
Hello everybody, and welcome to a quick video in regards to New Dawn, Age of Prosperity, the new quadrant in EVE Online, which launched today. There are 4 new exploration sites, some in low sec, some in normal space, and we got some in Pochven as well, which is...
That's actually something I forgot to mention before, which is that those sites in Pochven are the first exploration sites in Pochven. This is something I've specifically asked for before. I'm not saying that that's the reason why they did it. It just makes sense. But I'm very thankful that they did. And they are particularly interesting to me. There's a lot going on, which is one of the reasons why I want to watch this and then break some of it down and then go and look for ourselves. So here we go.
Is also the content of this video. We will look into the Pochven site on how to run it. So let's dive right into it.
If only I could have Erstschlag's voice.
Currently, the sites can be accessed through Celestial Beacons. That's the name of these beacons. I guess eventually they will be called Overmind Nursery Grove. We'll see how that goes. Keep in mind it's Pochven, so stay safe. It's like...
There's another thing that I don't think we talk about, or he doesn't really bring up, but this is another piece of news, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this. If you notice, there are 3 charms down there. This charm, if I know my stuff correctly, this means that there's an invasion or incursion, Sancha incursion going on. This is something I had heard was happening and the idea of a Sancha incursion happening in Pochvin, I think, may be significant, even if it was an accident. So that is a whole nother thing to pay attention to. Yeah, I'm getting, yep, it's, oh, you do have them in, so this isn't the first time. Is this the first time? Is this the first invasion or incursion into Pochvin by Sancha? And is it the entire Kryvelis? This is the first time, and it is Kryvelis that's under attack. That is notable in and of itself, but let's keep this one step at a time.
Wormhole space with gates. On warp to the beacon, you will be faced with an acceleration gate. Nothing else here other than some visuals. So let's jump in. In the first room, you will see a lot of salvaging drones, which are not aggressive. They will not shoot you. Even if you shoot them, they do not shoot back. They seem to be collecting or salvaging from these wrecks and move all the salvage to that big structure.
It looks like they're building the big structure.
We
That's a
actually
Zernitra?
cleared a whole site of all these salvaging drones. They do not drop anything. They leave behind salvageable wrecks though, which provide Tech 1 salvage. Nothing else.
So it looks like they're trying to construct a new hive. But again, this is one of those things. I want to start looking around at all these different things in here to see if there's any more information. Also, remember, this is Pochvin, so
stage,
this is a very
the situation.
That room almost functions like a checkpoint. So that way, somebody who's coming in hunting you, you get a little bit of warning before they can get on top of you. It makes it so that you can't get in through a cloak. It almost functions like the gate in, actually it does function like the gate in faction warfare systems. And that does lend the inside a little bit of a air of safety. Now they could always wait on the inside, but we'll talk about why that's a problem in a second.
Is a tad different. There are spawning a couple of groups of rogue drones. They will shoot you. They do omni damage. You do not want to get hit by them unless you can tank about 400 EHP across all resistances. What you're really required to do in this side is find a structure that is called the Overmind Nursery Nest. As soon as you know where that is, you should burn there, kill it as fast as possible, and then the rats will just warp off and not bother you anymore. I chose to
the nest is like the
kite
brain.
this here just to see how the site can be played in, well, another fashion. The rats run around 1,400 meters per second and have a shit inertia, so they are not very, very fast at changing direction. Let's watch the spiraling in on the Overmind.
So we're going to look real quick at, here's the Brood Guard. So this is the, gosh darn it. These are the guys that are defending that room. You can see that, first of all, they can only lock one target at a time, I believe, because this maximum lock targets is cut in half by it being in Pochvin. It does omni damage. Where is it? It has an accuracy fall off of 7.5k. Sorry, an optimal of 15k and a fall off of 7.5k. So it should be able to shoot to about 20 to 25k. Anything past that, you should be perfectly fine away from them when kiting them. They have not a lot of hit points. And there's no entity faction loss, which means that there's no entity faction gain and there's no bounty, which means you get no reward. You can't gain Pochvin standing or, trig standings or anything else by killing this guy. And I believe also the Overmind nursery nest, likewise, I don't think it has a standings associated with it.
Oh, nest there.
So he's basically kiting around the sides, which is fine. Good idea. He needs to leave them behind and yet get close enough to the nursery nest to let his drone kill it. He is in a Helios, right? That's the T2. I believe. I think he is, because he's wearing he's using Kovop's cloak, so he must be.
The ship I chose to run here is the Helios,
There you go.
mainly because it allows you to have a drone, which you could just drop near the nursery and have it attack the nursery while you still run around and kite the little rats.
Couldn't you use a Jackdaw to range snipe the structure? Yes, but you might not want to. I mean, like, the whole point is that yeah, you probably could, but it's doable in a Kovop ship. Also, Kovop's ships.
Light drone has been launched, and I'm killing that Overmind nursery nest. Now, the moment the nest dies, the rats will stop aggressing and warp off eventually. And there the nest is gone. There will be no drop, but a wreck, which upon salvaging will give you some capital construction component.
So, fun fact, the Tech 2 Covert Ops does not have the salvaging bonus that the Tech 1 exploration ship has. So I would actually argue that the best ships to run these sites is technically a Tech 1 exploration frigate. Okay. Cool. Also, so the nursery nest wreck has its own thing. It's a salvageable nursery nest. It has its own description. So let's look really quick at this. Well, actually, let's finish the video.
We have run 5 sites so far, and it was always the same item that dropped. It was about 17 million worth estimate. Maybe there are different items. Maybe there can be multiple items in the salvaging. It is not yet clear. If you have more information on that or additional perks or quirks the site.
Cool. So, and then real quickly, there's descriptions of all these guys. This rogue drone is responding to a threat to the drone nurseries. This drone is a deadly threat to any intruders careless enough to arouse it. Independent rogue drone swarms have been detected in Triglavian space, showing no fear or favor to the Triglavian collective, Edencom, or any other parties that they encounter. These rogue drone swarms include a large number of advanced types and even so-called Overmind classes of rogue drones. A distinct social hierarchy is not unusual in rogue drone hives and swarms, but the unshackled Overminds appear to be developed a very sophisticated variant. Concord theorists from the Directive Omega 15 section have speculated that exposure to Triglavian information warfare and subsequent adaptation to it has resulted in accelerated evolution within these road drone swarms. That's concerning. I read an article about them rebalancing Galente ships and rail turrets. Do you know if they did? Not anytime within the last several months or, you know, whatever. Okay, and the Overmind. This writhing hive of activity is a primary nursery nest of the unshackled Overmind rogue drones. A vast number of drones were working inside of this nest, and many foragers are transporting salvage materials to feed the nest's malfunctioning manufacturing lines and assembly cells. The unshackled Overminds have many times demonstrated a talent for advancing adaptation, repurposing, and enhancing of technologies they acquire. It is possible that some very advanced technology could be recovered from this nest, as the rogue drone often imitate the activity of humanity in a very distorted manner. It is even possible that they have developed versions of the most advanced technology available to human civilization, i.e. capital parts. It may be wise to carefully purge such tech of rogue drone routines and ancillary technology, though. And then the salvageable wreck just says, the remains of a destroyed Overmind nursery nest, perhaps with the proper equipment, something of value can be salvaged from it. All right. That is, I believe, all I have to talk about when it comes to what we know from today. So let's go ahead and make a little stream tab.